Hey guys, Lucas here in Future Surplus, and today we're going to take a look at U.S. Army and the U.S. Marine Corps large rucks, what they offer you, some differences between the two of them, what they're good for, what they're not good for, and why you might want to go with these if you're looking for a large backpack. So let's get into it. So first off, they both offer about the same amount of space, about 4,000 cubic inches, which is huge. That is a massive backpack. You're going to have a hard time finding a comparable priced one within the civilian world that's going to be able to do what you need to do like these can. So 4,000 cubic inches that you can add on to because of Molly. That's just a ton of space. You can fit everything you need for multiple days, even a week sometimes, depending on how you're packing in these large rucks. They're both external frame, which we'll show in a little bit. So external frame means you can carry a lot of weight. These aren't ones you're going to lash stuff onto. It's like some external frames, especially older style external frames. But they're external frames, so if you break the frame, easy to replace it in the day. And everything that straps on comes off for downloading and everything like that. Again, they both have Molly webbing on them, which is great because you can add on stuff, lightweight stuff, get it real bulky. You can carry everything you want. And they both have internal dividers in them, so you can divide up the sleeping compartment on the bottom, what it's called. So you can have your whole sleep system. You can have 2 sleeping bags, a blanket, a whole bivy sack, all down here, ready to go, easy to grab. Or you can just compartmentalize your rucksack how you need it to be, or you can keep it open and have just one large main compartment. And they're both flapped with a drawstring opening. So that's, the general basis. They both have lots of cinch straps, so you can get them real tight, everything like that. So overview-wise, that's what they are, and that's what they generally offer you. They're rugged. They're heavier than your civilian counterparts these days. Back when they first came out, they were probably about equivalent to what you could find in the civilian market. But this one's been around for about 20 years. This one, not quite. But again, they're a little heavier than what you're going to find in the civilian market. But for space-wise, you're not going to find something that's around 150 bucks and down, and as far as price goes, for that amount of space. You just, Mystery Ranch, their Marshall backpack's like 5,000, I think, or a little more, and that's a $500 backpack. And 4,000, you're looking at 300 plus, 400 plus. So, for space-wise, you can't go wrong. So let's take a little more look at the differences. We'll look at an overview of the frame and some of those features, and then just go over some of the differences between the two of them, so you know which one's going to work best for you, and what are some other good uses for them. Okay, so both external frame, and you can see it better with the U.S. Army one because it's much larger than the Marine Corps one, which fits into the straps right here. So the external frame allows you to carry, really heavy loads, and it's going to be a good base for the shoulder pads, which on both are really padded. You can see there's some differences on the two, and the waist belts. The Marine Corps one is definitely more padded. That's the first good difference on here. It's definitely it's better padding, and it's going to be a little more comfortable with a heavy load. And on these, you can carry 80 to 100 pounds, and these is nothing for these backpacks. Once you load up to about 100 pounds, you're going to feel it, obviously, but it's nothing for these backpacks. They can carry that load easy, and they're not going to just break down on you. So you can fit a lot of stuff in these with all that space to offer. So external frame, covered that more or less. And you both have padded shoulder straps, really adjustable with sternum straps, and a good waist belt for getting that load off your shoulders. So, that's the biggest thing about these is their external frame. So let's look into some other stuff about these and some other differences. Okay, so like I said, both of them have a flap on top that's going to hold everything in the main compartment shut, and they're both going to have a mesh compartment on the bottom of the flap for like maps and such stuff. On the Marine Corps one, it's zippered, whereas on the U.S. Army one, it's just hook and loop closure. So that's the difference there. As far as being secure, they're both pretty secure, but that's preference right there. And they both have this double drawstring closure on top. Keep your stuff, it's going to be water resistant, and it's going to keep your stuff pretty secure in there. Both have large Molly fields on the sides. U.S. Army ones typically come with sustainment pouch on the sides, which adds some extra space. Marine Corps ones don't always, but you can find those pretty easy, like at our website, so you can add on some space. Marine Corps ones have a big difference here that the U.S. Army ones don't on the sides. They have pockets on the bottom that you can put a water bottle, canteen, whatnot, loose stuff right in there, easy to grab. And they also have pass-through sleeves here on the side. So you can put if you have a long rifle you're carrying on your ruck, if you have a tripod, other weapon components, or just large bulky items you need to carry on your ruck, this pass-through sleeve is pretty good. So that's something the U.S. Army ones don't have, only the Marine Corps ones, and it's a good option If you have, tripods and stuff like that, poles, aiming poles, if you're on a mortar team, in the military, or if you just, have some longer items like walking sticks, stuff like that. So that's something to look out for in the Marine Corps ones. That's really nice. That's not offered on the U.S. Army ones. Both have plenty of cinch straps, two main ones on the sides, and then one on the bottom going down. So the sleeping compartment area, which is zippered off, so you can get into here easy enough on both of them. It's pretty much the same thing on both. So if you want to access whatever's down here, whatever you compartmentalized, or if you just know that gear you want is on the bottom, like behind zippers, you just unzip it, you can grab it out real easy, and they both have a zippered divider in the bottom that you can also just section things off. So externally is where the main differences are between the Marine Corps one and the U.S. Army one. Material wise, similar material. The Marine Corps likes to use a little more quicker drying fabric. But overall, it's pretty much the same material. Weight's going to be pretty much the same as far as an empty rucksack. Other differences going with the Marine Corps ones is you have a pass-through section right here. So if you have a radio down in here, in the main compartment, you can have antennas and cables sticking out, hydration hoses, stuff like that. On the US Army one, that is not there. It's an issue if it's an issue to you, but you can also just pass them out through the main compartment opening if you don't need that. But it is good for radios and antennas and cables and all that, PTTs sticking out. So those, major differences there, and also MOLLE webbing on top of the flap doesn't really exist as much on the US Army one. If you need to put stuff right on top for easy access, that's pretty nice to have. So what are these rucks good for? Now we've gone over the general what's in the pieces and parts and all that nonsense about the rucks. If you're looking for just a really affordable, big old backpack, the U.S. Army and the Marine Corps rucks are good to go. They are good to go, and you're not gonna not have space. At the end of the day, you're gonna have more than enough space to do anything you need to do, and they're gonna last for a long time. Main complaints on the rucks is because this external frame is plastic, it's like to squeak when you have a heavy load in there and you're walking around. You can get around that by adjusting it just right to you, and get rid of that squeak, but that's a big complaint. They're also just really heavy. But if you need to carry a lot of stuff, you can't really beat these for the price. Car camping is where I'd say they really outperform everything else, because it's just an easy way to carry everything in the back of your car, and you get to your campsite, take it out, it's all in one spot. Or if you're hiking short distances and you're going to stay at where you're going for a long period of time, these large rucks are good because they're pretty comfortable at the end of the day, especially once they're adjusted right and you're used to them. But they're not as comfortable as some of the mainstream equivalents out on the market right now, civilian wise, because you get more padding when you go civilian. It's going to be more comfortable. Whereas these, the padding's there, but it's not quite as ample as it is in civilian ones. Other than that, I wouldn't recommend these for if you're doing a through hike of the AT, because this isn't going to be quite as nice as a good backpack can get outside of the military, but it's definitely going to be good for like short hikes where you're staying somewhere for a long period of time, car camping, or you're traveling, maybe not in the airport necessarily, because these are pretty big, but if you're traveling around, you need something in the back of your car that can hold everything, get in and out really quick, these are good to go. Or if you just need something that's like super durable, these are going to be well to go with too, and you can add on to the outside of these with all this MOLLE webbing. So if you're looking for a good backpack, these are good ones to go with. Take a look at them, and then sky's the limit with these things as far as what you can fit. I have lived out of these for one of these for 3 days straight, 3 days worth of food, 3 days worth of water and water bottles, as well as sleeping gear, a little bit extra clothes, and if you know what an LLDR is within the U.S. Army, a full one of those with extra batteries for my radios and the LLDR. So these can carry all that weight, and you can live out of it with a little bit of room to spare, no problems. So if that goes to show what you can carry in here, it's everything you could possibly want and need. So yeah, take a look at these.